Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. Today is Thursday, January the 20th, 2022. I am Joe Sarvati, affectionately known as Coach, and I am here to discuss a three-game NBA Main Slate that starts at 7:30 p.m. Eastern tonight. So we have that extra half an hour that always helps with news and everything else going on. So we're excited about that. We had a tough ejection of Butler yesterday. That didn't make us happy for the main slate, but we did bounce back for a really solid, almost 400 burger. With Joker having almost a 90 burger. So that was the after-hour slate that really did well for us on FanDuel. So we're hoping to keep that momentum going. If we could just keep no one getting injured and no one getting ejected, we're going to be on the right track. So that is the plan today. We know variance is now on our side. We're expecting to go on a super hot run here. So if you'd like to join us, go to dfscoachtalk.com. You can join for as little as 3 days for $10. Great time to get involved. We have PGA all this weekend with the American Express tournament, a really good tournament in California. And then, of course, NFL football Saturday and Sunday playoffs will be providing for those. And we'll also have a podcast going up. And then, of course, a busy NBA. So great time to get involved. Love to have you. If you're watching right now on YouTube, quick thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, give us a comment. We'd really, really appreciate it. All right, let's get right into this slate. Definitely some news to talk about today as well. All right, let's see. The Thursday, January 20th slate. First game is 7:30. There's actually two at 7:30, and then the late night sweat game at 10 o'clock all by itself. The Phoenix Suns and the Dallas Mavericks. Phoenix is -2.5 at Dallas, so pretty tight spread there. Dallas has won 10 of their last 11, and we know Phoenix just wins. That's all they do. And the total's just 216.5. But guess what? That's the biggest total on the board. We've got a 216.5, a 211, and a 215.5. So no advantage at all in the totals today. It's just let's find the guys that are going to produce and just get it done. We don't have to favor one side or the other. It is a second night of a back-to-back for Dallas, however. So definitely not conducive to a big minutes for the studs there from the Mavs. As far as the implied total, we have 109.5 for Phoenix, 107 for the Dallas Mavericks. Phoenix comes in at 34-9, Dallas 26-19. As far as guys out for Phoenix, we know Ayton, Kaminsky, Nader, and Saric are out. And then for Dallas, a part-time player in the rotation, Sterling Brown, is questionable. Everybody else is good to go here for the Mavericks. Statistically speaking, pace-wise, Phoenix is 9th. So as most games are, it's a nice pace-up game for Dallas. Dallas, second slowest team in the league at 29th. So pace down for Phoenix. Plus, Dallas has the number one rated defense over the last 2 months. So, a definite battle of wills here. Great defense on both sides. Not exactly a big scoring game, but it is the biggest of the three, barely, but it is pretty bizarre. Defensive-wise, doesn't get much better than that. Phoenix second and Dallas fourth. So you do have two really strong teams here as far as what they're looking at on the defensive side. It makes it tough because you have some of these guys priced up. Paul at 7.5 is fair at that mid-range price. Booker's at 8.3. And after that, it's just, all kinds of value for Phoenix. How about Mikal Bridges is still sub 5K at 4.8. Crowder 4.4 and McGee 4. So, me, I like to go against bigs against Dallas. McGee's the kind of active big that I'll be dialing up for sure. So McGee's my first real strong favored play, and I like the fact that it saves some big bucks so you can buy up. And then coming off the bench, you can consider Cam Johnson at 4-6. Looks like Bismack Biyombo is probably going to back up McGee, and he's 4 flat. That's really about it for the Suns. You certainly can get some really good value there. On the Dallas side, Luka, big game last night, 41 real points. He scored my man Dirk over here. He scored your number, buddy, 41. So you got to love the way Luke is playing. But Phoenix defense, Chris Paul, Mikal Bridges will probably start on him. Not as fond of the 10-4 number on Luka, and it's a back-to-back. So not that I don't think he's going to play well, and he's definitely playing better. But, over his last 10 games, this is the problem. He's shooting 16% from 3. So granted, he's still getting the numbers, still getting it done. But 16% from 3 against a really good defensive team on a back-to-back, I think I'm going to spend up elsewhere. But, we'll see how he does. Jalen Brunson getting a little more realistic at 6'5". He had jumped up above into the 7s. Dorian Finney-Smith, is going to get big minutes at 4'6". He's a possibility. Kleba, who had a really bad game yesterday at 3'9", can sneak in if he can pop some threes. Porzingis, a fair price now at 7'6". He's mid-level pricing. Back-to-back, how much is he going to play? That's the question. I think he gets enough minutes, though, to pay off that 7'6". Off the bench, you've got some options with Hardaway and Powell, and they haven't really completely decided that starting lineup for sure. You're getting rotational minutes from Green and Bullock as well. So they are going a little bit deeper. It's not a great game as far as, loading up, but I hate to say it, but I think Kristaps is not a bad play. And certainly McGee with the other 2 value plays in Bridges and Crowder really does open up the salary for the other 2 games. All right. The other 7:30 game, it's the New Orleans Pelicans against the New York Knicks. Knicks favored by 4. It's a 211 total. Not a great total. 103.5 for the Pelicans, 107.5 for the Knicks. Pelicans come in 16-28. Knicks have fallen below 500 again at 22-23. You have a questionable tag on Devontae Graham, which is an important piece of information we need to know. My buddy Cheeseburgers Williamson remains out. For the Knicks, Arcidiacono is signed another 10-day contract, but he's out. Nerlens Noel, Cam Reddish, Derrick Rose, all out. Looking forward to see Reddish suited up with the Knicks. So I'm not sure how long he's going to be out, but we need to get him back in there. Statistically, you've got the Pelicans 21st in pace and the Knicks dead last 30th. So that doesn't help matters. But the fact that the Pelicans have a bottom 5 defense, they're 26th, and the Knicks are presently 13th. So they've just slightly got above the halfway mark there. So a little bit tougher for the Pels. And it's in New York. New York's ornery. They just lost the last game by a bucket. So this should be an interesting one. Knicks only 4-point favorites here. So we'll see how this rolls out. We'll start on the Pelican side. Let's see if Graham plays or not. If he's out, more than likely Nickeil Alexander-Walker at 3-6 would jump in there. He'd instantly become a really nice value play. And if you notice, there's lots of value here. So for a 3-game slate to have 3-4 players only in game 2 here, and we're at value, we're going to be able to buy up for some of the big dogs. So the Currys and the Doncic's, they're in play. They definitely are. Or Bookers, that kind of thing. It's going to be a fun slate to build, and you're going to have a couple different opportunities to look at it. After that, Brandon Ingram at 8K. He's another one that could make make the cut, being the fact that, we'll have some extra salary, hopefully. Josh Hart's been steady at 6'3". Herb Jones, maybe not on a slate like this, but he's been throwing up some solid numbers, and he gets big minutes. He's 4'4", but I think he's going to have his hands full trying to guard Julius Randle, may get in some foul trouble, so probably not going to go to that value play. Joe Val possibly at 7'7". And again, on the other side, Mitch Robinson at 5'2". Joe Val's definitely the kind of guy to draw fouls, but he also commits fouls. So Joe Val versus Robinson, that sounds like a panic when either one of them has the ball in the post that the other guy's going to foul. So I doubt I'm going to go to either spot just because of that potential issue there. And really on a 3-game slate, you can't afford a guy in foul trouble just playing 20 minutes or whatever. So, more interested to see if Ingram, Hart could be the guys, or if Nickeil Alexander-Walker gets the start if Graham sits. On the Knicks side, Kemba's a possibility at 6'1". He shot the ball decently in the clutch the other day. Fournier, boom or bust. If he's hitting threes, he's good. If not, he's a bust. So more GPP-ish, but 5'5" is tempting. RJ Barrett, who's played really good ball, didn't have his best game the last time out, but certainly has played well in the last month. He's 7'2", so he's still in that mid-range where you can dial him up. Julius Randle had his best game in quite some time the last time out. He was really fired up, really getting it done. So I don't know if that's going to spark him to really step up and take it to the next level. But I do respect Herb Jones' defense. He definitely can D it up. And he's backed up with Joe Val in the paint there to help out on Randle. So as of right now, Julius is not my favorite buy-up player. And then the guys off the bench, with Burks quickly topping, just too much of a risk for cash games for sure. All right, the last game, 10 o'clock. It's weird with 3 games after 13 yesterday. But the 10 o'clock game sits alone late tonight. Indiana Pacers, Golden State Warriors. Golden State favored by a big 11.5. So we have that blowout fear again. And now that the Pacers have lost Sabonis to a bad ankle, it just keeps getting worse and worse for the Pacers. Definitely fear of a blowout. So you've got 2 strategies here, really, that I think you have to make a decision on. I guess you could look at it as 3, but the first strategy being you think the game stays close enough that Golden State's going to get full run and the Pacers as well, and then you use this game as normal, or you just don't play the game at all as a possible or probable, I should say, blowout, and just load up in the first 2 games and then hold on, if they're playing all subs a lot of the second half. Or I guess the third piece is if you want to cherry pick 1 guy or maybe 2 at the very most that are somewhat, blowout proof, then, that may give you the opportunity to do that. But that's really a decision you have to make going in because, this game just reeks of blowout. The Pacers have been terrible. They're not winning games, and now they lose Sabonis. We know Turner's out for a while. So it's going to be very interesting. They did get Malcolm Brogdon back yesterday. So, we'll see if he's going to play in this one. It's both teams are going to be battling here, but it's, again, only a 215.5 total, 102 implied for Indiana, 113.5 for Golden State. So it's, not a really good DFS game, let's just face it. But with 3 games, beggars can't be choosers here. Indiana's 16-29, Golden State 20 games over 500, 32-12. Sabonis is doubtful. He's not going to play. I've got him out. McConnell, Turner, and Warren also out. We know Draymond's still sitting along with Porter and Wiseman. So how do we look at this game? First of all, pace-wise, Indiana 27th, and we've got Golden State 12th. So a bit of a pace-up game for Indiana, but it definitely hurts Golden State that Indiana's going to play slow on top of possibly getting blown out. Pacers 22nd defense, so Golden State will take advantage of that in the time frame that the big guys are out there. And then we know Golden State is the top-rated defense in the league. They've been that the entire season. So Golden State also has a game tomorrow night. So if they can rest guys tonight, if the game gets to the blowout situation, they're going to do it. Kerr's not going to waste any minutes for these guys with a game being tomorrow. So how do we break this down? That's the million-dollar question here. Brogdon being back at 7-4, how is he going to be with, his second game returning? Let's see how that goes because, he laced them up last night. It's a back-to-back for them. They're on the second night, Golden State on the first. So how much is he going to play? I mean, I don't trust that whatsoever. Who knows if he plays at all? If he does, you would think he'd be limited. Why stretch a guy out 2 games in a row after being out so long with an Achilles strain? So, not counting on that. If he does sit, then Karis LeVert jumps up a notch or 2, and he's 7-9. So, again, a little erratic. He's going to get probably Klay Thompson defense, and that doesn't help matters for LeVert. So not a lock by any stretch, but if Brogdon sits or is limited, LeVert definitely steps up a bit. After that, good Lord, it's not pretty. I mean, right now it's looking, the group that's going to get minutes, it looks like it'll be for sure, will be LeVert, Holiday, Craig, Batazzi, Duarte, Lamb, Brissett, and maybe Stevenson. Who knows if Sykes or Washington get any minutes? If Brogdon sits, maybe Sykes jumps back in. It is a cluster, and it's not pretty. What I will say is you're going to see a lot of Goga Bitadze played. He's 3.7. He's an obvious choice for a center position. I mean, I'm just, my strategy right now, double bigs on DraftKings and Yahoo with McGee and Bitadze. At 4K and 3.7, it basically lets you put in all the studs across the board. So that's where I'm looking to start out. The fact that Goga is going to be super chalky, that's fine with me. Sometimes you eat the chalk, it makes everything work. And he is, like I say, a good points per minute guy. So he can get you there as part of the right, stack of some of the big price guys. After that, I don't know if you really trust anybody else with the rotation there. We need to see who's starting and how it's going to go from there. But it's definitely, iffy. On the Golden State side, it's very simple. Are they going to blow them out, sit some guys, and rest them for tomorrow night? Curry's 10-5. You can certainly pay up for him, and he certainly can score, 25, 30 points in the first half. We saw if Mo Bamba can do it, anybody can do it in the first half. Good Lord. Klay Thompson's only 5'3", but again, how much of the minutes going to be there? Same with Wiggins at 6'6". I guess the guy that gets the check mark for me is Kuminga. He's only 4'3". He's playing better. You would think if anybody in that group is going to get extra minutes if the game starts blowing out, that it would be Kuminga. And if he does, if he's one of the first options on the floor there in the second half, that could be a fantastic play. But it's value city, man. We've got so much value. We have better value plays than we do buy-ups. It's a really weird 3-game slate. I'm probably, for the first time this year, going to leave like a good chunk on the board, $500-600 maybe in salary, because I just think that it fits. And if you try to just force in the highest priced guy in every spot, you definitely get stung. That doesn't usually work. So we'll see how that goes. Other than that, I'm not interested in Looney with the other value at center. Certainly Jordan Poole could get some extra run where he's chucking and ducking if it's a little bit more of a lead. And Gary Payton the second and 3.9. I'm not sure I trust any extra minutes for him because he's coming off an injury and they play again tomorrow. So I'm going to avoid him at all costs. So that is it, my friends. Very, very interesting slate. You have some great cheap plays that should play big minutes. And if you buy up for the mid-level and higher price guys that are really the right guys to hit on, it might be a game where you can get Luka in there. The more I look at how many value plays are there. But, it doesn't have to be a set stars and scrubs strategy, but I don't know if you can avoid it today because the scrubs are such good value. So should be fun. I'm looking forward to this slate. Normally I like the bigger slates, but the bottom line is this one I think is really going to be fun just because of the way things lay out. Now, tomorrow night, definitely a fun Friday slate. We've got 8, 10, 11 big games tomorrow. So that's back in my wheelhouse. I'm fired up for that. And I'll certainly be back to do the podcast tomorrow for that one and definitely get after it again. So if you're watching on YouTube, please give us a thumbs up, quick subscribe, give us a comment. If it's any of our audio podcasts, just give us that 5 stars and a quick comment. Then you get into our drawing that we have for a full 1-week membership to Coach Talk that we pick at the end of the month. And to qualify, all you have to do is comment and put a 5-star. So we appreciate you. Enjoyed the time spent today. And certainly we'll be back again tomorrow when we look to crush it in NBA DFS.